This lesson is about negative index form. So first of all, we're going to just look at what index form is again and remind ourselves and then link this. So 5 cubed, we know what that means. That's 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. And here 5 squared is 5 multiplied by 5. 5 to the power 1. You should know that that's just 5. And 5 to the power 0, that is 1. And if you didn't know that was 1, go back and look at one of my previous videos because I explained that in basic index laws. Now what you should notice is to go from each of these, I divide by 5. So to go from 5 cubed to 5 squared, I divided by 5. To go from 5 squared to 5 to the power 1, or just 5, I've divided by 5, and that's equally the same when I go to 5 to the power 0. I want to carry this on though. What is 5 to the negative 1? This is a negative indice. What does it mean? What would 5 to the negative 2 mean? Well, I can use my knowledge of dividing by 5 to help me do this. So here, if I divide by 5, 1 divided by 5, that's 1/5. Because 1 divided by 5, think of that whole cake, sharing it between 5 people, it's 1/5. And 1/5 divided by 5, a way of seeing this is, yes, you can have 1/5 and divide it up into 5 little bits, and that's 1/25, or you could also think about it like that, because you could use your fraction knowledge, because 1/5 divided by 5 is 1 over 5 times 5. Now I just want to pause and look. So 5 to the negative 1 is 1 over 5. 5 to the negative 2 is 1 over 5 times 5. So this negative is telling me that my 5 is now dividing. Up here it was multiplying, but this negative, my 5, is now dividing. So this 5 is now dividing, but is 5 squared, if you think about it, is now dividing. So my negative is almost telling me that I'm dividing by 5 squared rather than being multiplying by 5 squared. And the dividing is that it is, and we call this the reciprocal, which you should have met before, because this here, that there, we say that the reciprocal of 5, so the reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. That's another way of saying 5 to the negative 1 is the reciprocal of 5. A word that often comes up on GCSE papers, and it's worth saying that word, reciprocal, and I'm going to write it as well, so that you actually start taking that into your vocabulary. Reciprocal. So I would write the reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. And by the way, the reciprocal of 1/5 is 5. So if we then go here, 5 to the negative 2 is the reciprocal of 5 squared. So it's 1 over 5 multiplied by 5. So let's go on and try another one. 4 cubed, 4 squared, 4 to the power 1. And now I'm going to add on the bottom 4 to the negative 1, 4 to the negative 2. So this is easy. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. 4 squared, 4 multiplied by 4. 4 to the power 1, 4. 4 to the power 0, 1. Remember, for each one I'm dividing by 4 as I go down. So from here to here I've divided by 4, from here to here I've divided by 4, from here to here I've divided by 4. Because actually I'm multiplying by 1 less 4 each time. So 4 to the negative 1 is 1/4. Did you think that? 4 to the negative 1, 1/4. So what do you think 4 to the negative 2 is? 4 to the negative 2 is 1 over 4 multiplied by 4. Is that what you were thinking? Okay, so let's do some questions. And here what I want us to do is I'm going to write these first of all as a product form, and then secondly as a simplified fraction. So as a product form to start with, that would be 1 divided by 5 multiplied by 5. Remember the negative, that tells me that it's the reciprocal, and it's telling me I'm dividing by 5 squared. 5 multiplied by 5 is 5 squared. So here, again, I have that negative, so it's the reciprocal of 4 cubed. So 1 over 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. 4 cubes, that's 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. Next one, 7 to the negative 2, so it's that negative again, so it's 1 over 7 multiplied by 7. 8 to the negative 1, so it's that negative again, 1/8. 9 to the negative 4, negative again. I have to really keep thinking that negative, what does it mean? What does it mean for my calculation is there. So that's them written as products, and now I'm going to write them as fractions, fully simplified. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. And this would be 1 over 49. And this one, I can't simplify any more than 1/8. And this last one is 1 over 6,561. And yes, I did use a calculator for that one. So check that you understand what's going on there. Have a good look at that page, because I'm now going to ask you to do some. Here's 4 for you to do. If you're not sure what to do, this is a moment to go back and watch that previous part again. If you think you know what to do, press pause, have a go. When you've done them, press play. Great, so you should have by now had a go. You should have something written down in your books. Let's see what you got. So as a product, I would expect you to have written 1 over 6 multiplied by 6, which is 1 over 36. And 9 to the negative 1 is 1/9, or 1 over 9. 7 to the negative 3 is 1 over 7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7, which is equal to 1 over 343. And the last one is 1 over 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 9, which I do believe was on the last page, which is 1 over 6,561. So did you get those? If you didn't, try and understand what might have gone wrong, because that's important before you move on to the next stage. And the next thing we're going to do is go the other way. So here we've written it as an index, and now we want you to convert it. Sorry, this isn't index, this is product. So we've written it as a product, and now I want you to write it in index notation. So index notation, well, this here is 3 cubed, but I'm dividing by 3 cubed, so it's 3 to the negative 3. And here, this is 1/5, so I'm dividing by 5, so it's 5 to the negative 1. And 5 to the negative 1 is the same as the reciprocal of 5, which is the same as 1/5. There's that word reciprocal again. So the next one here, 7 multiplied by 7, which is 7 squared, but I'm dividing by it, so it's 7 to the negative 2. So it's really important to understand that negative. You notice that the 7 to the negative 2 means I'm finding out 7 squared, but I'm actually dividing by 7 squared. I'm dividing 1 by 7 squared. And here, I'm dividing 1 by 3 cubed. Here, I'm dividing 1 by 5. Really important to get in your head what that negative means. So, have a go now. I'd like you to write these in index form. If you're not too sure what to do, go back, watch the last part. If you think you've got it, press pause. And when you're ready for the answers, press play. Okay, so 1/9. This is 9 to the negative 1. This is 2 to the negative 3 because it's 2 cubed, but I'm dividing 1 by 2 cubed, so it's 2 to the negative 3, and this would be 4 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I'm dividing by 4 to the power 5. Okay? Lots of practice now, and then once you've really got that film in your head, you can move on and do more challenging things with index form.